So glad we didn't do live.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to create this video today because I wanted to give you parents and some of you kids who are going to go to college next year or try out for a college team perspective on a junior college life, Division I life, and a Division II life. And I know every one of these guys have been standouts ever since they were kids. I remember them all since they were. Josh played on my first Ollie Meds team, right? Mikey, he's been with me forever. Ty, since he was like 6 or 7 years old. So I wanted to get their perspective on what goes on every day, because it's not the same at a junior college or Division I. Things are different. They're a little different, and I wanted to ask them some questions so all you guys can just hear what's going on, what's different. All right. So this is Ty Luper. Ty Luper is a freshman at Galveston College. Ty had to walk on. He set out 1 year because he had an injury, and he worked his butt off in the summer with DST, came in here, we hit every day, and he helped me coach this summer. So I felt like he really got a lot out of the year off. And he went back this year, and he had to earn his way on the team. So he walked on to Galveston, and now he earned a full scholarship. So what do you think, walking on a team, like on a junior college team, what were the challenges that you faced?
I mean, you just gotta prove yourself, I guess. You don't have a spot on the team. You're going against guys who are already on a scholarship. You come in the fall, and then, someone like me, I'm a pretty small guy. You come in, there's dudes 6'4", just dominate, and then you're having to compete with the best of the best. So it's a challenge, definitely more of a mental challenge than anything, I think. But if you got your head on right, then I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So you see like all these rankings now. Guys ranked #1 in the country and things like that. And when you get to a junior college, there's guys who are ranked ahead of you. Does the ranking still hold when you get to college?
The ranking isn't what they make it out to be. It's all about just going and proving yourself day in and day out. It's not like you can go have one good game and then be considered an all-star. You have to go prove yourself, work hard every day in and day out, and then just keep getting after it.
And your senior year, what was your batting average?
About 350.
350. How many home runs?
Like 6.
6 home runs, right? So I would say as a high school player, that's a damn good senior season right there, and he dominated. I felt like Clear Springs went a long ways with these two guys right here on the same team. So he wasn't offered anything out of high school, which was crazy in my mind. But that's how it happens. Sometimes you're just not going to get the offer. You have to go out and prove it. Perfect game and PBR, these things, they'll help. They will help you if you go out and get your rankings and they get, you get seen a little bit more there. But I don't think it all matters when it comes down to performance. So Ty, he earned what he got, and now he's starting. I don't know. He'll be DHing. He'll be closing. He's gonna fill a big time role for that team. So I'm proud of him, and I'm glad that you continue to fight through it all. All right. So I have Mikey Cervantes. Mikey's a middle infielder. One of the best kids, middle infielders to come out of this whole area for sure, easily. He dominated at the high school level. Dominated. He was their 3-hole for Clear Springs that went 5 rounds? 4 rounds? 4 rounds. Yeah, they faced some really good competition, and he showed why he's a Division I player. How tall are you, Mike?
5'9", 5'10".
He's 5'10". What do you weigh? What did you weigh out of high school?
175.
175. So what do you weigh right now? 190. So knowing that, going into a Division I program, did they help you put on that weight, or did they help you put on that muscle, or?
Going to DST, it definitely helped me get a little bit more weight. I only got to 185, I think. But once I got to college, that's when a whole different level. Like, you eat more protein shakes. It's just a lot of eating. It's a lot of workouts. And you're on a schedule every day. And once you find that routine, it becomes easy. You just get a lot, basically.
So what would you say, like, going into a Division I program out of high school? Because there's a lot of kids now who think that since they're verbally committed, since they're, they're sophomores and they're verbally committed, they're freshmen verbally committed. What do you think about that? Do you think it is
not
what it is?
easy. It's definitely not easy because you're facing against guys that have been there 4 years, and then you're facing other guys that are coming from JUCO that already have more experience than you. So you're stepping up to a whole another level. And it's not like you can just show up and be the best player on the team. It wasn't like that for me this fall. I mean, I definitely had to prove myself. I mean, coming out, it was just like I couldn't get a hit, and then once I started getting hits, it was becoming a little bit easier. But it wasn't like I was the best player out there. But like Ty says, you just got to prove yourself every day.
Yeah, so even though you had a full ride, or not a full ride, whatever the scholarship they gave you, you still have to go out there and you still have to bust your butt, right? I mean, you're not going to be given a position because you're ranked and because you were verbally committed early. You're not going to just be given a position. You're almost competing with grown men when you get to a Division I program, or even a JUCO. There's guys who haven't even been to school yet, and then they come from Dominican and they're 31 years old, and they're freshmen, right? So age doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of how you go in there and handle your business and compete. What would you say the toughest thing about being a middle infielder is, as far as like when you were in high school? Like what are the differences with the level of play that's coming at you?
Definitely the speed. The speed is like it's a lot faster. You got people that are running 6'4s, 60s, and you got to get rid of the ball quicker. On the mound, it's faster. People throwing low 90s, mid 90s. You just got to get used to it.
Right. Yeah, I know. I went to a game in the fall with Ty, and we watched St. Jack play. And I don't think anybody who came in on the mound was less than 91. Everybody they had was 91 plus at a junior college. So to me, that's pretty amazing how the velocities change, and guys are getting stronger. So those ground balls are getting through the holes, and they're getting through much quicker than they would. Are y'all on turf or?
We're getting turf for next year. But
Okay.
The ball comes off the bat faster, so you got to be quicker. You just you got to kind of find ways to cheat. It's like, all right, this guy pulled the ball last time, so cheat a little to the right, or works away a lot to the left. It's just little things you have to pick up on certain players, and especially pitching too. Like same thing you get because everyone looks the same now, and they can throw a curveball on you and think it's a fastball.
Right. Yeah. So that's crazy, but the game is not easy, and you guys, you're obviously really good at it, or else you wouldn't be where you're at right now today. I'm proud of Mikey because he's had a lot to work through. He had an injury with his knee. He worked through it, and he continues to thrive. He came here. The coach wanted to make a swing change with him, and he came here in the off season to work on it because he wanted to go back. He wanted to go back there and show him that he could make that swing change. What are your thoughts about that, like on swing changes?
It's definitely difficult because you've worked with something for so long and you've stuck with it, but once you go to a different level, they kind of want to like, hey, maybe I think this could work better for you, and you don't want to be like disrespectful in a way. You want to see what they have to offer. You don't want to turn down an opportunity that possibly could have made you better. And coming in, I didn't have a big stride, and we had worked on it, and now I'm having to swing with a big stride. So it's something you got to work with. It's definitely hard to like change things that you've always worked with, and it is what it is.
All right, so that's a little bit about that Division I program going from high school to Division I. And here goes a really special kid. He's been through it all. He's been through a junior college level. He's been to a Division I level, and now he's at a Division II level. Last year at Angelo State, he dominated the whole country. He was Player of the Year for Division II. So he had every award, every average was the top. Like if you looked up there, Josh, Triple Crown? Were you Triple Crown winner?
No, I wasn't. I came third in home runs, I think.
Third in
but
home runs.
I led the country in batting average, RBIs, on base percentage, and slugging percentage.
So Josh is another one. You went to Galveston College out of out of high school, right?
Yes.
And I remember we signed here. Remember I took
Yeah.
a picture and everything
Yeah,
with
right
you
here.
And I felt like that year, you know, your coach, you dominated in the fall, and then he wanted to change your swing, right? What happened then? What happened?
Well, at Galveston, so I got there freshman year in the fall. I was hitting really good, you know. First game, I was starting lead off. Then I gradually worked toward 3-hole, so I was starting to get a little bigger, a little more pop. And then I'd say about halfway through the fall, I had an incident in the outfield where I was trying to throw a guy out at home and felt my elbow just go numb. So long story short, there I needed Tommy Johns. I sat out in the spring, and then that's kind of what happened. The next following year, my redshirt freshman year, I was still at Galveston. Couldn't throw yet, but I was still hitting. So I was just DH, you know, I was top 5 in the order. I needed to be like 5-hole, 3-hole, 2-hole. And I didn't hit much in the fall because I was still recovering, but towards the end of the fall, you know, when all the games were over, we were doing inter squads, I was hitting really good. Earned a spot in the lineup. Came back in the spring, started hitting really good. I'd say through the first 20, 25 games in the spring, my average was about like 460, something like that. And then just like coach just wanted to make some swings. He was just trying to add some more pop to the swing, try to just get some more extension back here in the load and stuff like that. And it just wasn't working out for me personally. You know, I'm not saying that he's wrong about anything that he was telling me, but you know, everybody's different. You know, everybody's mechanics are different. Everybody has a feel for different things, and that just wasn't one of my things. So I tried to go back to the way I wanted to do it, but he didn't want me to do it. So at that point, I just had to make a decision. I was just like, well, then I need to go somewhere else where I can feel like I can be myself. Because one of the main messages that I personally want to relay to everybody is believe in yourself. And I can't express that enough because I've been through a lot. I've been to 2 junior colleges. I went to D1, I went to University of Houston, got cut from there. And when I got cut from U of H, I thought it was over. I truly thought I was done with baseball. I just couldn't believe it. So I had to talk to my dad, and he was just like, what do you want to do? And I was just like, I still think I'm good. Like, you know, I still think I deserve a chance to play. So that's what we did. Came back in the spring, and me and my dad just every day worked in the cages and stuff. And then went up to the Northwoods League that next summer. Had a pretty good summer, and I got an offer to Angelo State, which is where I am now, and I haven't regretted it since.
So I would say that like a lot of being successful at wherever you're at is how you feel, like how you're able to play the game. So a lot of coaches are, you know, they make you uptight. You know, you get to college. I tell kids this: if you go play pro ball, right, it's about your performance.
Yeah.
If you go play college ball, it's about the way you tie your shoes, the way you wear your pants. There's a rule to everything. Where in pro ball, you have to perform, you know, and that's it. If you don't perform, you go home, you get cut, you get replaced, right? In college, they spent money on you, they got investment in you, so you have to follow the rules, right? You have to follow their rules. And there's some coaches that fit players, and there's some coaches that don't. And I think the earlier you understand that, right, you have to be willing to work through it first. The earlier you understand that the easier it will become for you. Because some coaches, you know, they're just not going to let you be yourself. And it's okay to a degree of that, but they also have to understand that you have a different personality, different body build. They didn't sign you because you couldn't play. You know what I mean? They signed you because you could hit, you could run. They signed you because that was a need that they needed. But you know, their jobs are on the line, so it's going to be done their way. I would say, you know, your experience through it all. It was. I watched it and I lived it with y'all guys, and you know, it wasn't easy for you. I know it wasn't easy for you, but like you said, the biggest key is believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then I feel like it's pointless to even try to play college or pro ball, right? So what is a life like for you? Like you're going to go back. You've been working out here. So what is it like when you go back to Angelo State? This is senior year, Josh's senior year.
Yeah, well, it'll be a little different for me because my situation's obviously a little different. But like I just told them before, so next semester I only need one more class to graduate. So that's all I'm taking this next semester is one class, and it's online. So I kind of got blessed on that part. But mainly, so say like I'll just go through like last fall. So it'd normally be like I wake up, I go to class normally around like 9 a.m. or something like that. You know, I get my coffee in before class, and then I go to class, and then after class I go lift. I'd say around 12 o'clock because then we have practice at 3 o'clock, and then that's normally how my day goes. I go to class at 9, weights at 12, 12:30, depending on when I get the time, and then we have practice at 3, and usually after that for me it's either homework or for me personally I like to go get a little late night sessions in, like blast some music, you know, with the guys.
Yeah.
That's usually that's how it'll go for me in the fall, but obviously this spring we're gonna be playing on the weekends and stuff like that, so I'm kind of excited. It's gonna be fun.
Excellent. What is y'all's practice schedule like? What do y'all do during practice? Like, how many hours? How many are y'all?
Well, I think it varies from depending on where you go. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's still like this, but when I was at Galveston, we practiced at least 4 to 6 hours a day.
Right.
Just depending on if we were inter squatting or something like that.
Weights in the morning.
Weights in the morning, yep.
Right.
Weights at 6 a.m., running at 6 a.m. Fun. And it was the same way when I was at Angelina College too, which was my second junior college. We'd have our practices were a little shorter there, but they were still about 3 to 4 hours, you know, because we would do stuff like we would get team stretches in, and we do individuals. Outfielders would go with outfielders, infielders, and catchers. They would go off their separate ways for a little bit, and then we'd take BP for about, I'd say, 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll do like a 9-inning inter squad, and that'll take only about 3 to 4 hours because coach likes to stop and break down certain situations and stuff like that. And so like for me now at Angelo State, there's NCAA rules, and I forgot what exactly the rule is, but I think it's you can only practice for about 3 hours or something like that. You only have so many hours in a day.
Is it in a week? What is it?
Yeah, it's something in a week. I forgot how many hours it was exactly. Yeah, it's like 20 hours, something like that. But our normal practice will last about 3 hours at where I am now. But like last spring, I'm pretty sure it'll be like that this spring too. It'll probably be kind of like how I described. You get a team stretch in, you know, that'll be about 20 minutes. You stretch and throw and stuff. And then you do individuals, outfielders work with our assistant coaches, infielders with another coach, catchers with another coach, pitchers with the pitching coach. And then we'll take BP, 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll do defensive drill, which is just pretty much where we're playing like a live game, but the coaches are throwing to us, so we get more reps in, and that normally takes about 30 minutes. So that's really how practice goes in the spring. I don't know how it's going to be this spring, but that's how it was last spring, so we'll
That's
see.
good, yeah. And that's something that, you know, to me, you learn and you love because, you know, once you leave baseball and once it's not there anymore, you know, you miss those practices. I miss them. I miss hanging out with the guy. That's why I'm here with y'all a lot because I miss this, you know. I miss jacking around, horsing around, you know. But
That's how you make some of your best friends too, is just
no
going
doubt.
through that grind together with
Yes.
everybody. That's how you make some of my best friends to this day. I'm talking like my best friends are all guys I play ball with. Like their guys are like maybe my best man, like maybe my groomsmen, like my wedding, all that stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. So if there's one piece of advice, I know you gave the always believe in yourself, but there's one piece of advice for a kid coming from high school to college, like what would you tell them, like as preparing themselves?
Well, the lesson that I learned going into college, like for me it was Galveston, is that like he said, the game definitely does speed up. You know, it definitely speeds up on you. And like Hondo said, everybody's getting stronger. Everyone's bigger. You know, ground balls get through the hole more. Guys get jammed on balls and still hit it over the fence, and you're just like, huh? It's stuff like that. But the thing that I learned is that you're not the best player. Maybe in high school, you're probably the best player on your team. That's probably why you got like the best offer from a college or something like that. But when you get to that university or you get to that college, everybody's just as good as you, if not better. The real difference is that who's willing to work the hardest. And I can't express that enough either. That even goes for a team-wise too, because like our team last year, for instance, at Angelo State, for a while we were number one in the country. We were the best team in Division II, and we weren't the most talented team. Our biggest position player was me. I'm 6'3", I'm 6'3", 210, 215, but everybody else was probably, our other biggest guy was about my size, but he was our left fielder. But everybody else was, I'm not joking, they were either like 5'8" or they were 5'10", you know, 170.
What are you saying about 5'10" guys?
No, that's Bella. Hear me out though. That's what I'm saying is that we were so close and we were like, we loved playing with each other so much that it just made it easier to play. We didn't go up to the plate having selfish at bats. I felt like every single at bat we had this year was a team at bat. That's why I felt we were so good, because we were not the most talented team in the nation, but we were definitely the hardest working, and we definitely, I feel like, had the best chemistry out of everybody. So, from my point of view, like message to high school kids going into college, just be aware of the pace. You know, it's gonna catch up to you. You know, everybody's gonna be stronger, and just be humble, because you're not gonna be the best player when you get up there. But I guarantee you, if you work your butt off, you'll get there one day.
That's great advice. Great advice for a guy who's been through a lot, and you know, this year hopefully the draft calls his name, because I know that he's more than capable of playing at that level. He always has been, and you know, now I really feel like he's becoming a great leader, a great man, a great baseball player, and they'll see that. I know that they're going to have to see that, because he's forcing them not to. I mean, they have to, because if you're the player of the year, you know, and you're leading all these categories, they can't deny that. All right. So, Mikey, what's a piece of advice you would give to kids out there going into a Division I program?
I'd say do the little things right, because you're on a schedule every single day, and over time you're just gonna get tired, and you're gonna be like, man, why am I doing this? And it's, you know, but you know, it's those little things: rolling out before you go work out, stretching before everyone stretches, eating right, drinking a lot of water, doing the little things right, getting 8 hours of sleep, maybe even more. You know, doing your homework, taking care of business. You know, it's those little things that catch up to you. And it caught up to my roommate, and he just didn't do any of those things, and he doesn't go to our school anymore. But you know, it's doing those little things right every day that makes a big difference.
Man, that's great advice. Doing the little things, you know, and that, I think, understanding doing the little things, it takes people in your life early. It takes, you know, the discipline from your parents, throwing the trash out, doing those things, making your bed, cleaning your room. All those things, they matter, you know, they matter. So when you get to that level, you realize when that coach, you know, when he realizes that you do the little things right, see, it's a lot easier on the coach. When they understand that you know, then it's a lot easier on the coach, because, you know, they don't want to have to be looking at you all the time. You're a young man now, and, you know, they don't want to have to be over on top of you the whole time. So they want to know that you're doing the little things right. All right, so Ty?
The one thing that I would say is just come ready to work, and not only work, but be consistent with it. You know, you can't just come one day and work and then expect to be the best player in the world. You know, it's day in and day out. You know, every single day. Like now, after high school, baseball is your job. School is your job. So it's something that you have to do throughout the whole day. You don't have the weekends off to go party and do all this stuff anymore. You know, it's you know, you wake up Saturday, Sunday morning, you're in the cages, getting lifted on your own, and then that's really it. Just being consistent with your grind.
That's awesome. Yeah, because if you're not consistent, forget about it, right? Like, who wants the guy who hits one home run out of 50, 50 at bats? You're not going to get that chance. You're not going to get that opportunity, right? So I always feel like in the cages, when you are working on your swing, you've got to be consistent. You know, if a guy's throwing you a batting practice fastball, you should be able to square the ball up, right? He's trying to throw it to you for you to drive it in an area, in a certain area with a certain pace on the ball, it's the same rhythm. So, learning how to be consistent is so important to your game. You have to be able to be consistent if you want to be in the lineup, right? You all agree?
I agree with that so much, especially when you said, come ready to work, because you also got to realize, too, that these coaches, they're putting money into you.
Correct.
Because when they put money into you, I've realized that after 6 years of college, no joke, that when guys put money in you, they want you to play, you know, because they're putting all their money on you. So they're gonna push you. They're gonna push you to be the best player that you can possibly be because they want you to play because they have money invested in you. And when you realize that and you start getting to work and you just realize that, like, you know, they're just, when like a coach yells at you, don't take it as like, oh, he hates me, you know, he doesn't like me. No, just take it as like, he sees something more in me. He wants me to be better. And once you realize that, then I promise you, you'll be a much better baseball player and a better teammate at that too.
Even with that, it's don't retaliate towards it. Like, it's just they're trying to make you better. And my roommate, he was the one that just didn't agree with a lot of things, and he retaliated against the coaches. And sooner or later, they just gave up on him, and he eventually left. So it's just you gotta be willing to change, be part of the process. Also communicate with them. Like, that's the big thing with them, because my coach, one day we were having a meeting and he asked us, like, who here hasn't hit a hit and run or hasn't done a hit and run in high school or JUCO or whatever. There's like maybe 6 guys that raised their hand that never did it during the game, and it was just like, wow, I didn't even know any of this stuff. And it's crazy how much you have to tell your coaches, well, I've never really done this before, so it's like you need to let them know so that way they can work with you. Like, so you don't have to retaliate, and it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know?
Right. Yeah.